Air. Oui? Yo, I do believe we're live. So I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. It is a pleasure to have you here again, to have your trust that I will not waste your time a lot. I won't waste a lot of your time, right? Maybe sometimes I'll get a little bit lost myself, losing some of your time as well. But for the most part, bet your ass, bet your, bet, bet your pocket change. I'm gonna be here for you. Moon Knight, it's nice having you here too. Bless you, bro. Bless your friend, though. I am treating myself today a little bit. How are you, Mel? Uncle Melt, how are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good, young man. Very good. Absolutely. Fantastic. In fact. Actually, so good. So good. I'm feeling good for the most part. I have absolutely no complaints. Ain't got no problems. Other than the ones I make. And I've been making new problems, admittedly. But they're problems that I can handle. Yo, Monday, people. Hey, Sam. Hey, Sam. How's it? Today's stream topic is inspired in part by you. Have you seen the title yet? Hmm? You see the title? Oh my goodness. Somebody somebody send help. Somebody send me help so I can experience this with them. Hey Sam, I detect smugness. No smugness. Happiness. Maybe. Happiness. Big happiness. Sam, yesterday, upon me waxing poetic some more about Zora, made a Zora profile. And as I've said to you friends, like I've already garnered some support, like fever pitch level support. So as soon as our beloved Sam joined and started posting stuff, and the blockchain saw that I was buying Sam's, work, the blockchain reacted, and other people bought Sam's work as well. I think Sam had like 80, at least 80 US dollars of her work bought yesterday. I don't know how that shit works, but I can sell my set without getting rid of my beloved originals. Fine. Yeah, you can do that. And like the way that I'm building my profile, Sam, is with the intent of creating a safety net for my supporters, right? So my use case for it would be I don't want to sell any of it. However, the way that I want you to use it, the way I imagine you using it, is making your art, putting your art on blockchain, right? Setting some sort of like purchase limits where you can like say to people, hey, oh, if you purchase $100 worth of my, if you buy $100 worth of my token, right, of my art piece, this art piece that I've taken a photo of, then you are entitled to the original. And then you can like set up systems where they have to send you on the market the tokens they have bought of your own post, making it impossible for them to technically sell the value that they gave you for the art, for the original art. And then you can send them back, if you want to, 10% of that value, meaning that they get to keep 10% in tokens of the piece of art they now own. So they get to show people on their wallet, look at this, it is actually mine, right? Look at this, I am gots, right? That's what you can do, Sam. There's cool ways to implement. And then, as I said, just to like reiterate my echo, I imagine you being able to buy little Seth a toy, right? Little Seth is like, mommy, I want the new Gigatronic 5000, and you're like, bitch, Gigatronic 5000 cost $1,000. And then you go and look on your Zora and you're like, I got like $5,000 worth of art tokens. I'll sell 20% of my holdings and I'll get you Gigatron 5000. And then little Seth is absolutely, ecstatic, and he can reality build or whatever Gigatron 5000 does by the time he's 18. Imagine. So I am so stoked. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your trust. That's what it's about. That's what that whole fractal is about for me. Because I believe what's the word I'm looking for? Egoically. Egotistically. I egotistically believe that if you trust me, it'll be good for you. It'll be so good for you. Right? There's a part of me that like desperately wishes that every single one of you friends had just like bought in $100 of my account at its inception. Because if you did, every single one of you would have literally tens of thousands of US dollars right now. It would be a shame if you just like sold out. You know, my poor market cap would get decimated, but it would be super cool. But it's still gonna happen. My market cap is only at like 70 grand. Which means that literally, if you wanted to buy me out, if you wanted to buy all of my tokens, you'd have to drop 70 plus grand on my portfolio. Literally. That's the only way. Hey, I got to buy it. Got to buy it. But that being said, it's going to be 700,000 one day. And then it's going to be 7 million. Millions and millions. I want to reach at least 1 million by the time I'm 30. All right. So I'm on my way to 28 now. Chelsea clock, can you stop? I'm on my way to 28 now. So I got like 3 years. 3 years to 1 million, Sam. I'm gonna get like $1 million market cap on my work. I won't have any less. On Sam, how are you doing? Good night. We're well. Did you find some time to take for yourself today aside from stream? Yes, I did. I played some football. Nice. Thank you for your trust. There's a sticker. There's a sucker born every minute. Sam is just taking advantage of a weird turn in the market. You can again think of it as a sucker, kind of born every second kind of thing. And in some worlds, maybe you'll be like, yeah, Melt, you just said the same thing I did. However, right now, as we're speaking today, the annual market for loot boxes, for gemstones that make your castle upgrade faster on your mobile game, that makes your troops become available faster, right? That market is 130 billion US dollars. People are annually spending 130 billion US dollars on game assets, right? Which are, for the most part, still today, absolutely worthless after you've purchased them. Because again, it's not blockchain, there's no limited supply. They can just keep issuing more useless item, right? More useless gems indefinitely. Oh, Jesus, here we go. Yeah, Sam. So in that way, this is kind of like also a game. It's kind of like a game. And it is also in that way allowing people to buy digital assets. However, this time around, at least you can sell it if you've decided this was maybe a bad purchase. You might not get all of your capital back, but you could still get capital back. You can't do that with your gemstones that you use to upgrade your castle. All right, here we go. Yeah, almost. We're going there, Sam. I'm not trying to preach or browbeat. I'm trying to help us like gain perspective in our minds about what it is that's happening, why it is that's happening, right? Like people have put, I think like 770 US dollars in volume through my account, all right, already. That's like 2 months of the money I earn, maybe even more at this point, right? A little bit more. 2 months of the money I earn that has like gone through my account in the last 11 days. Like there's clearly an appetite, right? There's a lot of money out there. And if you can add value, if you can create value, people will give you some of that money. That's what markets are, I guess. And it is going to be, I think, almost like an onboarding thing where it's going to give a lot more people a little bit of a better understanding about how these things work. I do think people are going to lose money, Sam, especially those that are trying to game the system. Those are going to lose money probably the most. But those who are just going to be building, methodically, slowly but surely, day after day, week after week, month after month, will see their value increase. All right, and I'm super stoked about that. Like I tried. Me and Jovan bought some of Sam's tokens, and then one of the people that support me and Joe bought more of Sam's tokens than me and Joe had. So one of your biggest holders is a complete stranger. A complete stranger, Sam, is one of your biggest holders. I think they put something like 40 US dollars or something like that into your account. Uncle Mel, do you think that we should work on a concept of extending human life to about 150 to 160 or try to achieve immortality? I think immortality is one of those words that's nice to say, but hard to conceptualize. Because again, what does that mean? Does that mean that if the literal heat death of the universe occurs and there's literally nothing in space, that I'm still going to just be floating there in the nothingness, alive? Right? That's technically what immortality means to me. And do I think we want that? No, I don't think we do. Should we focus on extending human life to about 160? Yes, absolutely. And then further. I think if we should live, I do. This is my own bias. I think we should live for thousands of years this time around. We've had all of the living for 70 years and then dying. Now we're going to have some living for thousands of years and transcending. Yeah. Transcendence sounds cooler as death, right? And I imagine that future being like a literal, instead of just being like a dying, like, oh, my body is going to die, you literally ascend, right? Your consciousness goes somewhere else. I uploaded a few more this morning. I'll have to go and check them out. I have to go and throw some half dollars at you. So, like, I think the minimum buy amount is 19 cents, but I usually like to buy of my friend's work, half dara. It's like 111 sparks. And it even has it built in that way, right? Like the platform does it that way too. So it like appeases to my synchronicity brain. All right, I have some critical mass awaiting that critical mass. I really like the way this smells. It's very sharp as a terpene profile, like pungent, like permanent markers. And I do, for some reason, like that flavor. Just because it amazes me that it's coming from a plant, right? It's like you wouldn't think, but then it does. It's nice having you here, friend. Today we're talking about trust. Do you trust that I won't waste your time if you stayed? It's a hard ask. I'm not always sure even. That is really nice. I ought not be surprised, but it is so nice. It truly does amaze me. This human experience we get to have. Trusting my intuition about what it is that I need to do. It is a pleasure being able to help. Dropping trees today. Dropping trees? As in you're going to be planting some trees? Or are you ceasing the holding of trees? Love you endlessly too, our beloved Joe brother. One last cycle, and then we should be done. I suddenly feel calm. Hi, Toe, bro. I talked about you yesterday, you know? And you might be thinking, what did you say? Woo! Woo! Where did they hide all of that? Where was all of that? This is still this is still green. This is still green. Oh goodness, we're gonna get another round. send help. I did say send help. I need help with this one. Damn, why? I'm letting you wait, Haitao. I'm letting the suspension build. What did I say? What did I say to my mom about Haitao just yesterday? So, Haitao, last night, my mom tells me about her brother. Remember how I was telling you when you mentioned that you're an engineer and you have forgotten how to be happy? She tells me that this brother of hers have let her know that she is failing at raising me and my other sibling, Vessel, because of both of us still being in our family's home. All right. Vessel, my younger brother, he is 21, going on 22. And I am 27. All right. And both of us are still, at this point at the very least, living with our parents. And this uncle of mine was just like laying into my mom, letting her know, that when he was our age, he had to go and study. He had a bursary, by the way, so his studies were full ride. He got paid to study, and he was playing rugby. And then he got conscripted. We have like mandatory conscription when you turn 20 or something like that. Then he went to the army, and then after he came out of the army, he started working, and he lived his own life. Paid for his own place, etc., etc. Uh, Mind you, he's a 60-year-old man, right? So again, the level of cognitive dissonance is extreme. Not that he's 60, just that the time that he comes from, right? That was the reality of the situation. You could get a bursary. That was easy to do, relatively speaking, especially in the era that he was living in the country that he was living in, with the skin color that he had, right? That was the reality of South Africa at that point in time. And then, right, he kind of like went on with his life after becoming an engineer, right? So the level of earning potential you have in any country as an engineer is a little bit higher than the earning potential as an artist, for example. Like I'd call myself artist, yoga teacher. Am I a live streamer? I'm more a conversationalist than a live streamer. This is just a way for me to have conversations with you from afar. Anyway, right? So he's telling her how she should, figure something out to get me out of the home. And I am leaving soon, right? But the same is being said about my other brother as well. And I mentioned you. I mentioned you, Haito, in that moment when my mom told me about this, where I told her that a friend joined in the stream yesterday. And I said this to her yesterday because you were here 2 days ago. I was like, a friend told me in stream that they've been sitting here for 30 minutes now and listening to me talk, and they realize they have forgotten how to be happy. And I told her about my conception of that moment being that when we're in that engineering mindset, we're always trying to solve problems. And as a result, unfortunately, sometimes we start seeing the problems in our own lives as well. And we start judging ourselves for not being smart enough, for not having enough money to solve those problems for ourselves. Right? And I mentioned to her that that's the same thing. And I mentioned to you, I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned to you in that conversation that watching them, because all of my mom's brothers are engineers, watching them have conversations with each other, there's like zero depth there. There's like zero interpersonal relationship. There's just talking about stuff, talking about problems with stuff, talking about the way that they would solve problem with stuff, right? There's no talking about people as people. They might talk about people as like gossip or as judgment, and again problems to be solved. But there is no. I've not seen any of those people in my life. I've seen their faces. I've heard them speak, but I haven't seen them. Right? Not the real person in there, down there. Right? And it's this weird dichotomy of almost. I believe, and maybe this is my own personal judgment. Uh, And maybe this is a way to like soften, because the first thing that I wanted to say was like very harsh judgment, as in the insecurity of not being loved for who you are makes you hide who you are. And then I thought we can see that as many of us have been, right, told to be something, right? And in his case scenario, told to be soldier, told to be engineer. Sure, maybe he chose it, but after you make that decision, everybody tells you that that's what you're supposed to be doing. You see this guy, he's like trying. He kind of wants an invitation, but he sees my hand in the way. You can come here. I'll give you some scratch. You think, but I got barriers. He so desperately wants to get on my lap. You're dirty. You're always dirty, bro. Fine. I'll submit this one time. Sometimes I'm soft. Sometimes. Just enough for him to not completely give up on me and never come back. We human beings are such complex and yet simple at the same time creatures. Our oxytocins. I forget about it these days, but I have a literal tattoo on my body of an oxytocin molecule. I tattooed it on my body with the intent of remembering, and still, I even forget about the tattoo. Sometimes I'm still shocked when I see it in the mirror. Whoa, I did that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Part of me wants to get more, but the other parts of me sees it as a waste of money. This is one of those things that you're not supposed to be proud of. So much so that I almost don't want to say it. I will anyway. I got my first tattoo in China. That's not the embarrassing part. I went to China on like a whim, because I wanted to, kind of literally. And I taught English there, and I learned lessons. And oxytocin, like I've had a fascination of chemicals for a very long time, and how they work and how they influence our lives and how they shape our behavior. And I'm pretty familiar with dopamine and serotonin and, the endocannabinoid receptors and the cannabinoids that I participate in. Like I'm aware how those things influence my behavior. However, the way that oxytocin influences my behavior is so complex that I still don't really fully know that I actually know how it works. It is like reality dissolving. That if you're in a state of high oxytocin, reality changes. Reality can change around you or cease to exist, at least experientially, right? And that fascinates me completely. We human beings have trust issues with ourselves. Can you trust yourself? It's a weird question to ask. Do I trust myself? I trust myself to do the right thing. But the problem is with that is that what I think the right thing is what I think the right thing is. And I feel like that's kind of the conundrum that every single person is in. I have tried to make it very clear to myself, almost like a teacher, and a reminder that I echo as much and as frequently as possible as I can, is that love is true. Love is true. That's what's right. And if I can bring myself back to that, then I'll make less mistakes. It's my car. I'll mark it up if I want. Mark the car up. Excited for more? Am I missing something? Probably. Oh yeah. So I didn't completely tell my whole story. Sorry for that. right? So maybe, maybe I don't have to. I happened to say what I needed to say without sharing any of the embarrassing parts. Huzzah. Fucking huzzah. Yeah, nice. But Mel, I still want to know the embarrassing part. Do you? Do you? Maybe it's not that embarrassing. It was almost 7 years ago now. Oh my goodness, that's wild. No, that's not right. Is it 5 years ago now? I turned 21 there. So 6 years ago now. Whew, yo, that's wild. I only paid $25 for my tattoo back then. He was the same tattoo artist that every single one of the other foreigners use. And I got to see his work, right, literally for myself. All of them had tattoos already. And then I went there and I sent him a photo of my tattoo and he made a stencil and he printed out that stencil. He put it on me and he tattooed me. But I'm kind of like skipping over like some of the parts. There was like a moment where as I was laying and he started to actually tattoo my body, where it like really started dawning on me that this is actually happening. I did also like literally go and look up a heat map for where the most painful parts. Where's the most painful place you can get a tattoo? And then upon identifying where the most painful part is, that's where I got my tattoo. Right here on my ribs. And I can confirm. I cannot imagine it being more painful. Like, and again, like when it started here and then it went out. Here it was fine. This is where it started. I was like, this is fine. And then the deeper and deeper it got into the ribs, I was like, okay, this is not fine. And then when the pain really started kicking in, my heart rate, like I went up to like 140 BPM and like my literal body was moving. And then he like stops tattooing and then he types out on his translation app, too much undulation. It's like your heart is beating too much. I'm like, I type, I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking out or something like that. I'm freaking out. Let me just breathe. And he goes, and then I'm like, and then before we know it, I'm better. Got the rest of the tattoo. It healed perfectly and fine. Some parts were done imperfectly, but he doesn't know that, and most other people don't either. It's like some of the bonds, they're supposed to be oxygens, but they look like fingers. Right? So instead of it being like a proper like a tube, like imagine two bond lines with an oxygen molecule, it looks like a line that has, and it, I mean, most people don't know, but I do. So I probably will have it slightly touched up, mildly redone, maybe even like add some stuff to it as well. Do a little bit more, basically. Yeah, that's the plan. Man, suddenly it dawned on me that I might want to do that. I'm going through like a whole crescendo of like, where would I like to do that? Is there a right place? Christian has been getting tattoos and his does look really good. I think he's been getting his work done by the same artist. He has a bunch now. He has a chest piece. He has a side piece. He has a back piece. Every time he goes on like a soul voyage, After he goes on the soul voyage, he goes and gets a tattoo, and then he comes back to real life. Mad lad. I miss him. He says he's coming soon again, like maybe next month. It's gonna be nice to have him. Opening some Chathams. It's taking sometimes. There we go. No. I'm cutting down gigantic ficus tree today. Maybe it's going to be a danger or obstructing energy production. And I do hope that it will be used for timber. Bless that tree for the life that it's lived. Saws and ropes and boogers and bugs. No, like my parents asked me if I want to be an engineer or a doctor, and I am dead confused on what to choose. Help, SOS. I think it's better to become an engineer, right? Doctors are going to get automated away first. Thinking like an engineer is going to be good for your life forever. And again, it comes with caveats. You can also ruin your life thinking like an engineer. You can try and over optimize to the point where you stagnate. Oh, Stephen G, bro, I've been thinking about you a bunch. What a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for blessing me. Pap Taras. This stream is brought to you by Stephen G Fuel. We love you. Bless you, Hendrik. Thank you, for echoing smiles through our hearts still. Man, what a fucking dude. Love is true. Bless you. Lumberjack style, homies. You got this. Jopo. And he's probably already on his way to chop down trees. Still bears. Oh goodness. You heard that fractal of like there's a man out there that's now literally chopping down a massive ficus tree and then is going to lumberjack style it. Man, he's barefoot. Man's is barefoot out there. So I just want to like echo for Moon Knight one more time. You got this. If you're gonna study to become an engineer, even if you don't get into the most prestigious college, if your family are going to support you in getting that education, it would be good for you to do so, right? It teaches you a lot of problem solving skills. And again, you might not end up using those problem solving skills in the real world one to one, but it will expand the capacity that you have to think for yourself, while at the same time limiting your ability to think for yourself as well, because you will be told what to think a fair bit. But again, some things are good to know. So there's balance to be had. You got this. Is Lutz here as well? No way, bro. This I'm tripping out suddenly. I just saw a comment disappear while I was looking for Lutz's message. I don't know if that was one of Lutz's. Someone just like got shadow realmed. I'm gonna catch up. I'm still missing some. Yeah, I'm just tripping out still about Jopo being barefoot out there, chopping down trees. Like I can't even imagine that. That's too much. Oh, okay. Like I sometimes think being an engineer, I'll just be sitting in a chair, but being a doctor, I have souls. But at the same time, the process of becoming a doctor scares me. Yeah, I mean, like personal care might still be necessary, but then you should more think about becoming a physician, right? Think about doing physiotherapy instead of becoming a doctor. Because I think physiotherapists, just like people on people, helping people with their ailments, that's going to be way more useful than a robot trying to do all of that stuff with you. It's still going to be done, right? But doctors, traditional doctors, will not be allowed to practice eventually, all right? Like the error ratio, as people are going to like start striking, it's like doctors are killing people out there. The robots have a 97% accuracy rate, right? With the actual doctors misdiagnose 20%, 30% of cases, I think today or something. It might even be more. It's something bonkers. So yeah, there's like room to grow. As I said, if you want to actually be working with people and taking care of them in that way, physiotherapy might be an easier easier way to that, right? And again, necessary. And I do believe that the pay is not bad if that's something that's important to you and your parents. Moon Knight, which I know that it is. We all need to eat these days, and food is getting more expensive. Not really. Food is getting cheaper. Our money is getting weaker, unfortunately. You know, bless again. Being a doctor will increase your social currency, but it will eliminate a lot of time that you need to spend on your happiness or your mental health. The grind culture is unhealthy, and I know you're being pushed. Remember us here. You found a family. It's where you draw strength from. Yeah. We're here to support you no matter what it is you choose, because we know love is true. And that is a hippie philosophy, sure, but it is, for me, a truth, literally, right? No matter what you choose, if you remember love is true, it will be for you, all right? You can literally be dumpster man, and every single time you find something that's fresh, right? Maybe you like scavenge the dumpster behind a pizza place, right? And you get pretty much, just like maybe a little bit cold, but mostly fresh pizza. Boom. I love this. Oh, thank you, universe. This is the best. Right? Boom. Even as homeless man eating dumpster pizza, you can find the love that is true from this universe. And like that is like a key pillar for me where I'm like, we need to stop taking that from ourselves, being like, no, you can get this love is true if you give me your money. Give me all of your time in a day. Give me your heart and soul. Then you can get love. You already got that shit, dude. It's right. It's yours. It's yours to remember you already have. Oh, let me see if I'm missing some more. Mm-mm-mm. I want to be as helpful as possible to this world by identifying my strengths and supplying them to be of best use. That is beautiful. Money isn't everything, I guarantee. It's true. It's true. Money is just convenience, really. Money is convenience these days. Right? And some people are made happy by things being convenient. But if you look at the trend, it's actually the opposite. We kind of derive some sort of satisfaction from struggling, from a little bit of suffering, just like a little bit. Not max suffer. If you're just suffering, then it's not nice. But you got little suffer, just like a wee bit. Find something to suffer about, right? Choose something to suffer about instead of just suffering your life. And then you become stronger, little by little. And again, you're like, what does suffer mean? Suffer is when you want for things to be differently, right? Sometimes you're exercising and you're like, oh, this sucks. I want to instead play a game, or I want to instead lay down. All right, that's suffer. You suffer. You want for things to be differently, you suffer. Right? And there's a bunch of stuff that you can do. And the more you show up to do things, the more you realize you're suffering less, because you're not wanting for things to be differently. You're doing the things you want to be doing. And then it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You just find yourself almost like, again, in the right place at the right time, because you are in tune with where you're supposed to be. You're in tune with where you are right now. You're giving yourself some leeway. Like I think I've read that one. Tattoos are like putting stickers on a Ferrari. That's awesome, Adam. I'm the kind of person that would literally, if I ever had a Ferrari, I'm going to wrap that thing in a big ass sticker, and it's gonna be my art. It's gonna look like the most insane Ferrari you've ever seen. Right? I don't know if you're even allowed to do that. I think you're not, right? I think like Ferrari will sue you or something. I'm not, I think I'm joking. I don't think I'm joking. Hey, ChatGPT, someone just made the analogy, which I love, that getting a tattoo is like putting a sticker on Ferrari, which I laughed at. However, I said that I am the kind of person that would have put a sticker on a Ferrari. I would want to like wrap my Ferrari and my art, but I think it's illegal to do that, or not illegal. It's against Ferrari's policies, and they might end up suing you if you do. Is that true? Let's see if my freaking text to speech is working. Speech to text is working. It's not been. It did at least. Love where your mind went. Wrapping a Ferrari in your art. It's freaking blowing smoke up my ass again. It's being a little bit sick of fancy. Like, listen to this. Listen to this, right? Like, and I didn't ask for all of that. But listen to what it says. Hey, MeltMore, I love where your mind went with that. Wrapping a Ferrari in your art? That's honestly a chef's kiss move. Like dressing lightning in silk made of self-expression. It's like, whoa, tone it fucking down, my O. He's the real deal. Ferrari is notorious for being very protective of its brand image. While it's not illegal to modify or wrap your own Ferrari in art or stickers, it's your car after all. Ferrari can and has taken legal action against people who they feel tarnish their brand reputation through customization, especially if it's a public-facing or part of a commercial project. All right. I don't think I'd ever buy myself a Ferrari. That's not the kind of person that I am. Because again, you can buy a much better car today for like $40,000. And I'm saying, like, listen, like, and then this might be a little bit of a hot take. What I'm saying is, for $40,000 to $60,000 today, you can buy a much better car than any of the Ferraris. I believe that, at least. That's my hot take. Right? So you won't see me. You won't see me paying more than $100,000 for a car. I don't think. Maybe there'll be some sort of inflation happening over time, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Because again, I think anything, even still, even if you're buying a car new, right? Maybe even that's wasteful. So yeah, freaking buying Ferraris. But I would put stickers on that thing 100%. It'll be super cool looking, I can imagine. And I'm gonna do that for whatever car I buy, by the way. Like that's also gonna happen. Like I have it again, one of those things that I have in my mind. The computer, maybe again, by the time I've done it, I'll be like, that's a lot, Melt. And then I'll drive that car every day, forever, until the wheels fall off, until I am not allowed to drive it anymore. They're like, sir, this car was made 75 years ago. Technology as of, please, we'll give you a new one. No, that's wasteful. The reason the motors are fine. They're fine. It's like, yeah, sir, but please, the sophistication of your AI is like eons behind. It's like all of the other AIs are making fun of your car. It's like, are you think I care? Yeah, I say no care. I love my car. I'm not making fun of it. Oh, okay. Reality can change around you. No shit. Last week was a ride. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Chuck Mangoni, Ozzy, and Hulk Hogan all in the same week. I don't know two of those names, but I did know about Ozzy and Hulk Hogan. Yeah, it's true. People aren't staying here. Some people aren't staying here. Makes it all the more important for us to love the ones that do. All right, be there for them and their loss as well. We all gotta get our time. That's the only guarantee in life. Taxes, Adam, death taxes are the only constant. I think we should stop saying that, Sam, because you're manifesting. There doesn't have to be taxes, technically. When systems operate efficiently, there are treasuries. And when there is on-chain governance, there is voting systems, and there is delegation of funds, and there is traceability of resources to the umpth degree. You can see if there is embezzlement, you can see if there's fraud, you can see if people are wasting money. And if suddenly all of that goes away, then we don't need as much money to keep things going. And then we can power our entire system just out of transaction fees. All right. Money moves here, money moves there. Small percentage of that money supports the network that it's on. And then that network supports the network that it's in. And then that network until it consumes the entire planet. That is what's happening, slowly but surely. That is what's happening. It's one of those things, right? It's like the internet existed way before everybody was using it. Long time. Big, 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 long times. So it is, yeah, one of those moments where little by little and then suddenly all at once. We got Sundusks here. Jovan, seeing her name always brings me so much happy. We got Lutz saying, hey there, and much love to everyone. The retreat is just amazing. The first 2 days were silent, as I hoped for, as you manifested, Lutz. You manifested that shiznit. We all manifested it with you, totally. And today in the morning, and we had our first non-silent breakfast. I love it here. Bless, Lutz. I'm so happy to hear that you're having fun. I've been thinking about you at your silent retreat or at your retreat. I'm happy that you're feeling already so rejuvenated. Lots glad to have you here. How is your birthday feeling? My body is feeling great, but being here, I realize more and more how hurt my mind was. That's beautiful. It's very exhausting in a sense of it's slowly draining me out of everything that has built up. All of that mental narrative, all of that stuff that you're almost like spinning in, but not actually allowing yourself to spin through. All right, and like get to the other side. Because when we're like just keeping ourselves busy with this thing and this thing and listening to music and eating food and watching video, then we still have that in our mind, but we're not getting to a point where we're like, oh, actually, I'm still fine. And I'm feeling that maybe I'm projecting. That's what you're going through. Sending you blessings, bro. More of that good stuff. Healing that mental hurt won't be a linear journey. Let's be kind to yourself. It's true. Friday evening, we had an early bird meditation that already had me in tears. The teachers are such wonderful people. Friday evening, we had like an early bird yoga and meditation that already had me. I think I've read that one twice. Why ever I wrote that one double thing. Whoops. It's okay. It's okay. I now know it twice as much. And I'm happy that you could feel into that emotions, in your practice. Chair yoga can be more challenging than I thought, for real. Like I'm getting like itches. There's 72 genders. I think there's more. All right. If we have to consider the infinity of space and all of the potential aliens that there might be out there, and all of the unique ways that they might procreate, there probably could be more. I don't really consider myself of how many genders there are. Doesn't really seem like if I get the number, I'm gonna get something in return. It's like, aha, I've figured it out. There are exactly 5,973 billion. No, it's probably not going to be used for no matter what number I come up with. Salil, bless you too, friends. Nice having you. Depends on who you ask. There is no right answer. Yeah, exactly. It can be your muscles aren't informed. The biggest complaint I hear from new male practitioners in that is that there's no flexibility. They can't do things like down dog or the Sphinx. Yeah, some people never go there kind of vibes. It is really good for you. Doing squats and stuff. Doing like deep, like just squats and staying there. Releasing some of that lower back tension. Hey, do you remember me? I'm Kunzeller. I do remember Kunzeller. Welcome with a new name, friend. Bless ya. Hope you're doing well. My legs are flexible from meditation practice. I got used to the double lotus pose over the years, but my back is a whole other story. Yeah, I'm also got back problems, so same back end like lateral flexibility. Like my legs don't want to do that. They don't like doing that. I have a lot of strength in keeping them to not do that. And I have a lot of not uh, compassion or ability to release in the other way. I had like a whole cramp today. I was like, oh, my hips are tight, yo. But we do the work every day's, little by little. So it might be the fascia buildup in your body won't disappear overnight, but hopefully this retreat will give you the tools you need to engage in your own practice at home. Exactly. Siobhan and I are both teachers, as is Melt, and we will all help you. That is pretty wild. That's just like 3 entities in this space. Yoga teacher ups, like, yes, yoga with us. Come and yoga with us. It's like, this is not something weird, right? No, we're just yogaing. Just yoga. Stephen G. I'd rather buy something cheaper and donate the difference exactly than buy a Ferrari. Exactly, Stephen G. I don't know if you said that the same time that I said it, but we're on the exact same page, right? I don't know what Ferraris cost, but I'm guessing they're in like the $100,000 to $200,000 range, right? So like, no, it's not gonna happen. Sorry, it's not worth that to me, right? Like I have a understanding of how hard it is to earn money. And in my whole life, I've been able to earn maybe $25,000, maybe a little bit more than that, but like literally in my whole life. So spending literally 4 times or 8 times that, it's like spending 8 times the last 9 years of my life on something that I can, be irresponsible with, because I probably would be. It's a Ferrari, and then crash, and then I lose, right? And maybe I'll have to pay the insurance, which is also going to be probably thousands of dollars a year. So then I'm again minusing thousands, which is X, probably percentage X of my entire life's work in value, just being given to an insurance company, so that if I'm irresponsible enough to crash my car, I won't have to suffer my irresponsibility so much. Right? It's like, it's just like, I get it. I get why people do that, but I also understand. I know thyself. I know myself, and it's not gonna happen to me. Puppy, yeah. Look at the dude. He still looks like a puppy. This is him full grown up. He is relentlessly annoying to all other creatures. If you're a cow or a cat, you see those eyes? He's looking for something to chase. It's like, is there a cat out there somewhere? Is there a cat? You see a cat somewhere? You see cats? Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. What? Okay. Yeah, first thing I did when I got my phone was to order a fascia roller. Yeah, the fascia rollers hurt. Oh, ask me how I know. I have one as well, but yeah, it will be good little by little to do that for yourself. Mm, 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 mm. Fascia roller. I can't believe I was able to live without this holy grail of back pain tools. Just using it for 3 days now. Yeah, like just having it like on your lower back, and like having your feet planted, and then just like supporting yourself with your hands and just like going. He's like, "What are you doing, dude? What you doing?" I'm explaining pain. So much pain. But then, as he says, after you're done suffering, you feel better. You feel so much better. The first thing. Let's again. We don't want to live without it again. Have you seen the fuzz speech? I hope so. I don't think so. I got screenshot at the chat, and I look I'll look it up after the retreat. It's only 8 minutes on the phone time left. Okay, so you only get a certain amount of phone time. Thank you for spending some of it with us. That's so wholesome. Bless you. Lots. It's a dear pleasure having you here. I hope that the rest of your time today is going to be beautiful. We got Vivid Vision, Humble Boy. What's up? You have a cute dog, sir. Thank you. He is very dapper looking. Dapper looking dog. He's pretty. All right. Can you chillax yourself? The intensity of your gaze is distracting me. I'm being distracted by your intense gaze. You should soften. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's better, isn't that? Yeah, a little bit more chillaxed. Thank you. Dog whisperer. That's that's totally what just happened. Oh, I don't know if I'm joking or not. I think I am. Yeah, I was. He's just a little curious, dude. Leo and Judge, blessed to you. Hi, just joined. Could you give me a quick summary about what the channel is about? I'd be happy to, Leo. I started doing these live streams at the start of 2021, and it was with this intention of showing up for something that I call love is true, right? Where I'm supposed to consciously evolve. That I have gone through so many different like philosophies in my life, ways of trying to apply myself, and all of it has fallen short to the way of love is true. And what that means to me is essentially that everything I do needs to almost be measured up to the truth of love, right? That I've experienced, from others and from myself. And this became an extension to that, where I believe that the best place for me to be, to say it in so many words, is when I'm with friends, all right? When I have the opportunity to have a conversation with those that I love. However, it would be selfish of me to expect my friends to always be here with me for me to have this conversation with them. So this became another way for me to have that conversation without the expectation of travel, for example. And then, coming back to the full circle of conscious evolution, we're showing up in this space with the intent to consciously evolve. And every single day that we show up, I try and bring some sort of topic, some sort of experience, some sort of synchronicity that I've gotten from my day, from my, goings about thoughts and feelings. And then I bring that into the space. Today's conversations that we've been sharing over the last while is trust. All right, we had a conversation yesterday about being in the right place at the right time, and how there are moments in your life where you can be very validated. And we shared from that place the conversation, the things that helped us feel validated, that made us feel we were in the right place at the right time. And then there was a certain level of trust extended. And I thought about that. And I thought about how that applies to our lives and how it will influence all of us if we can find some more trust in each other and especially in ourselves to try things, even if it's intimidating. We might just benefit from it, right? And that's the hope. That's what we do here. That's what we show up for. I hope that wasn't too long-winded. I appreciate you asking. Oh, no, 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 no. Can't tell. Man, I missed a bunch. There we go. Sent it to you on Discord. Bless. Hello, friends. I slept in today. Good morning, Joe. It's nice having you. Yo, Joe. Yo, Joe. That's a new friend or dear friend that changed their name. I'm pretty sure that's a new friend. I think ZSU is some sort of tank. No, a new one. I don't think. I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah. See, that's like instantly the red flags. The Sasobobasi meter goes off in my brain. It's like, I remember we were like, we don't do war talk in this space, right? Right? And then there was like, yeah, but I want to talk about M16 firearm. And we're like, no, we're not fucking doing that. Bless. It's not been happening at least. Oh, Joe, I can't wait to tell you about the retreat in Sunday Sangha. I would like to be there for that one too. It's so much happening, and there's two few words right now. Yeah, looks like you're lagging. Thank you for letting me know. Let me see if I can help. I do hope that that made it better. I do hope that it's not been lagging this whole time. Leo says, I agree with that premise. Love is true. You know when you can tell that kind of person is looking at them. You have a very kind face and nice vibe, brother. Thank you, Leo. Bless you, friend. It is a pleasure sharing the space and that I can give you that impression. I do try and make this place as safe and as interesting, as comfortable, calming. I try to make it calming. Sometimes my conversations can be a little bit perturbing. You might be perturbed, but ideally you won't be disturbed, and double ideally you won't be alarmed, because I usually try and bring it from like, things are changing, the future's going to be wild, but this is how you are already equipped to deal with that wildness, right? I feel like that's one of the big key things that we try and echo in this space as well. We're here to remind each other that we got what it takes. All of us have each other's support. One of the teachers, you are like a father to me. Yo, thanks, bro. My dad left me. Well, I can't be your dad, but I will show up for you to be as a masculine presence day by day. Bless you, friend. You got what it takes too, Vivid. Don't give up, Bo. Go and be kind to others as well. You get to understand what it's like to not have a dad, and in that way, you get to be helpful. You get to be compassionate. You get to be understanding from personal experience of those who might be in the same kind of circumstances. And you get to be there for people in a way that nobody else can. Remember that as well. One of the teachers hinted that he would do private retreats as well from time to time during the summer, which are basically guided meditations on his property in Austria. That sounds beautiful. I would love to do something like that with you, even Lutz, one day. Not gonna lie, I would be kind of interested in that in general, but the more I learn and realize here, the more I know it would do me no good right now. Yeah, it's good that you have that self-awareness. It's important. Allows you to, when you do, feel good about it. I feel like that's one of the big things. It should be, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You should like really feel like stoked. I believe, at least, when you go for that experience. Holy shnikes, what a wonderful opportunity to arise. Bless. Oh, no. Bad time of my life, 0 out of 10. Would never do again. Yeah. A set and setting is very important. And unfortunately, with stuff like that, if people have a really bad experience, it can be a hard turn off. Because once you're in it, there's no getting out of it until your body runs the course. And it takes hours, tens of hours. You're going to be faced with a lot of reality. You're going to be inundated with information, whether you want it or not. Sometimes you'll be inundated with information that you specifically don't want. If you could specify all of the information you didn't want, sometimes that's the information you get. And in that way, it asks a lot of you to be like, yo, I need to confront some demons inside myself. I need to learn how to love them. And once you do, it gets better. But if you don't, it can only get worse. I asked if I could extend my phone time a bit, and then the next yoga session doesn't start 27 minutes from now. He told me to just go to the toilet with my phone to get some extra time. Nice. Hacks. Getting cool teachers. Yay! Disinfect your phone after or paddling. Good advice. Most of the teachers are amazingly chill. There is only one female teacher who is very strict in her practice, and with us students. I don't know what that means, but I sure do hope that she's not forcing you to be a certain way in your practice. No, not like that. Maybe she can like tell you to like straighten up or something. Try to straighten up. But I hope she's not putting hands on you and like forcing your chest up or something like that. Like strict teachers like that, I'll fight. Right? It's like, oh, we're practicing yoga. This teacher lays hands on me. Now we're practicing judo. Leo, Sam, maybe. I don't know what Sam said, but Sam usually gives good advice. Are we getting something from all teachers, including the star one? I do hope so. I did the SID during a positive, pivotal time in my life. I was ready for it and in wonderful company. And I say, if that's something you feel inclined to do, then find yourself in the place of trust. Ooh, that is so apt, so perfectly in line with today's stream topic as well. Yeah, love is true. I agree with that premise. Bless again. Thank you, Leo, for echoing. Oh, yes, everybody here is a part of the bigger picture, which is the retreat. All the teachers have different specifications and fields that they teach and guide in. That's cool. Leo, this is where we welcome to the cult the enthusiastic newcomer. Yeah, we usually try and make it extra weird so that those who don't have an appetite for that instantly run away, and those who can take a little bit of some poking fun at some fun banter will end up staying. Love is true, after all. Playing with the lions. You have to be very intentional with that kind of thing. Yep. I can see it going sour if you find yourself in a dark spot without any guidance. Joe is echoing so much wisdom. The trust is still echoing on my mind. Yeah, you can trust that Joe knows what she's talking about. But I do have extreme bias. 100% Sam. I've known a dude who ate gummy bears, which he didn't know. He ate 5 of them. He went in a good place to begin with, but they fried him. 6 months, psychiatric ward. Yeah. Like if you're going for like the 5 gummy experience, right? The 5 gummy experience is kind of like this. Like one gummy is like, and then 2 gummies is like, and then 5 gummies is like, all right. Where the other way around, if it's not with like gummies, if it's just these, then it's 1 gummy is like, 2 gummies is like, 3 gummies is like, 5 gummies is like, and if you're going for, and you're getting, that's a little bit much, right? I can imagine that putting you in the psychiatric ward. Shame, jeez. That is atrocious, yeah. Like, it's very important to be respectful, extremely so. To trust, right, in your own ability to discern as well, to do your research, and trust that you'll be fine not doing that. And again, that's the other part, right? Like physically, he's 100% okay. Psychically, right? Like he had his eyes peeled open, right? Like imagine the universe coming behind you and just like grabbing you by the head and like your eyes to the cosmic truth, right? Like that's a little bit much. It's a little bit much if that's not what you thought you were signing up for. If you know you're signing up for that, it can be enlightening, it can be blissful, it can be intense nonetheless, but good from that perspective, at least, if you're looking for intensity. Yo, bless that person. I mean, I guess they're out of the psychiatric ward now, at least. Bless them too. Still not the same. Never the same again. Yeah, that's also part of it, right? I think whether you have a good time or a bad time, that's also a part of it. I feel like those experiences make it a little bit more poignant how real that is, but it's the reality of our moment to moment. You're never the same person. 20 seconds from now, I'll be a different person again because I would have gained more experience, formed new thoughts, felt new things. All right. So, with that, you just gain new thoughts, feel more things, have more experience with like higher refresh rate, higher instance rate. Right. Like, imagine you're experiencing like 1 token per second. With these, the higher that those, the like almost like you're opening the floodgates of informational exchange in your brain. So suddenly you're experiencing 100 tokens of context in the same 1 second that you usually would 1 token of context in the same second. So time doesn't really change, but experientially you're processing through now 100 tokens in a second. So you're like, whoa, what the fuck? You'll experience like a world's worth of storytelling, and then you'll look at the clock and 2 minutes have passed, and you're like, how did that happen? How's that even? How's that real? Right? And again, if you're telling yourself bad stories, if you're like, oh, the world is fucked, everything is going to shit. I hate myself. I would rather die, right? Then like processing 100 of those tokens per second. Now every second is like oh, Sisyphus like struggling with that rock up this hill, and you're like if you're in it, you're in it 12, 18 hours sometimes struggling against this rock, and you have to learn how to not. You have to learn how to not do that. Okay, well, I'm a Christian. I come from a really strict Christian household myself, Leo. Mm, 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 mm. Zoom, 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 zoom. Oh, 100% Sam. I've known it. That line again, Jeeps. He needed Rick Sanchez. And the more these mind blowers device then let's give up the chance to convince slash love you. Give us the chance. I wasn't either in the beginning, and it's still the beginning of the journey and the space, but there's not a single second of me regretting being here. That is so blissful to hear that information. Oh no, damn, gotta build that trust of discernment too. Some people will leave. Yeah. Are you guys Buddhists, some other belief, or unaffiliated? I'd say unaffiliated. Again, I grew up in a very strict Christian household. However, I personally more identify with general spirituality, which means to me that I am trying to pursue what God is. I'm not necessarily looking for any agreement on what God is, right? My pursuit of the concept of God isn't something combative. I'm not trying to convince you what God is to me, and I'm not really interested in being convinced by you what you think God is, right? We can have that conversation, but I'm not going to be convinced because the conversation is the point, not the being convinced, right? That's the way I see it. So in that way, we're open to conversations, but we're also uh, it's like theorists. It's like we've poised many theories, and we have come up with our own logic systems to those theories. And when we find ourselves confronted with the same set of information, we might realize that we already have this catalog of of answers, and we might not we might revise every now and then, but as we revise, we polish as well, and we have come to some sort of mirror reflection about what it is we want to see, as all of us do, ultimately. You're exactly right. He was on Arpan and made it to the front page a few times. Am I missing comments? I think so. I'm gonna switch to all messages. See if I'm seeing more. Maybe some of the comments got deleted. Maybe something was said that was deemed inappropriate. Because I'm not seeing the name. Maybe the message was deleted. You're exactly right. It was an Arpan. Sam, maybe. What else? No, Melt. She is not forcing or anything, but she is very precise with her direction, and she knows how she wants us to do stuff. She is still totally respectful, but she is a straight person telling you your wrongdoings directly. Okay, that could be helpful, right? At least having one teacher like that is very strict, as you said, on form. Form is important, and it can help to have someone there with you. I have found mirrors help me more than strictness, right? But again, not everybody has full body mirrors available to them. Well, not everybody has teachers available either. You do have a phone though, that could help as well. You can put up your phone, do your yoga practice, watch yourself, determine for yourself how you want to improve, do your practice, record yourself. And then if you do that 3 times and you try and see how you adjust and you try and see if you can ease yourself in the right direction, after that you would have almost gained maybe a little bit more than 3 times, but it doesn't take you long. You'll gain a certain level of inner knowing when you're where you're supposed to be. And then you can start doing something that's called looking for your edge, where you go through your full range of motion that's available to you in every single practice. And then you might not have to stay in that high form place the whole time, but you at least reach it at one point in your pose. Where this is a space where we embrace all spiritual practices rooted in truth, Leo. We all have different beliefs. That comes from different cultures, but we come together here. It's true. We're like White Lotus from Avatar, the last airbender. We believe spiritual truth belong to all, regardless of where or what culture it comes from. Yeah, exactly. Right. If you have a deep spiritual experience with Buddha, with Shiva, with Jesus, with Satan, I'm sorry, some people do. All right, that's your experience. All right, and if you like aren't hurting people, because again, that's kind of like where we draw the line. Love has to be true. You still have to be lovingly. All right, we're gonna allow you to be as you want to be, as long as you're showing up with a loving intent for yourself and for those around you. Right, be how you want to be. Dress funky. Right, I love that. That's fine. We love you for it. All right, wanna make something? Love that. We'll support you in it. Love is true. We're here. See, those gummies were 150 to 200 mics each. Yeah. So like that analogy where I was like, maybe even like twice that amount of like having your eyes peeled open. 1,000 mics or close to 1,000 mics is a lot. Like literally incapacitated levels of just like stuck, inescapably inundated with infinite information. Totally respect her. She lived in India with Buddhist monks for 15 years total. 5 of them she was silent. That's bonkers. So she's direct and possibly in an uncomfortable way too. But that's nice because you won't have to worry yourself with where you stand with her. Exactly. Well, this is for one who'd host private retreats. That's good stuff, Lutz. I don't know if it's that one. Maybe it is. That would be super cool as well if it is. Nah, that's not the one. Okay, yeah. She would never do that sort of thing. I was also like, I don't think so. That she said she was whatever who get caught with weed or something during the retreat would have to leave, even if she would have to refund the money. Yo, very strict. No tolerance. I mean, since it's a sober retreat, I totally understand that. Yeah. They also have therapy spaces for addicts, in the retreat center. Yeah, then it's extra important for there to be no things available, because if there are people struggling with addiction, that's not okay. All right, you should not even give them the option to think about it, because it's kind of like one of those things, right? It's for me, for instance, it's like bags of chips. I have like a thing. I really enjoy, bags of chips. I don't know if you call them chips, crisps, right? I like them. Salty snack, potatoes. Nothing wrong with that. However, the way we make them, with all of the vegetable oils, they're not very good for me. And when they are bought, there's almost like a tab open in my mind where I know about that bag of chips. I know that I could go eat a bag of chips if I wanted to now. Right? And it's the same thing with someone who is addicted to something else as well. Like, you don't want to open that tab in their brain. So it's nice of your teacher to kind of like stand that firm on it. I also write that Jesus trained Leo. His ministry was rooted in perfect love in action. All right, I gotta head out for now. Bless your Lutz. Enjoy, friend. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your practice. Hey, friends. Been a long time. Hope everyone is well. You dropped your pocket. I don't instantly recognize the name, but I recognize your spirit. The fact that you know this place and have found yourself back in it means that you are so loved. Thank you for joining us again. Can you like remind us of what your old name was? Like, has it been a long time to like back to the Arpan days, or how long has it been? I might close my eyes and lurky listen. I'm sleepy eepy and might doze. Who knows? But sending y'all the peace my head finds on the pillow. Joe with her words. She really does get away with them. It's so nice to read them. Pocket, hope you're well. Nice to see you. Love as well. PMT. Got the blue O. See ya. Bless. Pocket. And if you aren't hurting people, here's how it is. The bare minimum is that you wake up in the morning determined to show the world the unconditional love that lives inside you. Every last other thing is what delineates your spiritual practice from others. But it does not, and it should not, determine how much truth you seek. That's beautifully said. Don't limit yourself. I came to say to my timer doesn't reset, I hope you know what I'm talking about. I do know what you're talking about. Chriselle joining every day so she can become mod. All right, I'm just imagining this fractal where Chriselle is playing the long game, joins my stream every single day, bit by bit. I make her mod after 1 year of consecutively showing up, and instantly my channel gets stolen or something, right? She bans every single one of my beloved loyal friends. she spends time sending messages as all right, like ruins my entire life in like 15 seconds. And I'm like, why, Chriselle, why would you do that? And you see this evil smile. It's like, because I wanted to do it. I thought it'd be a plan, and then I executed upon it. Here is today's flower. This little center bitty is what made it for me. I really do like these peacock feather shapies. Nay! We're the Knights of Nay! Look at that dude. Maybe he looks better up there. Look at him. Isn't he cute? Little ears. There's definitely one here too. Little strange owl. Ah, Zhao, of course. Zhao goes from sleepy eepiness to waking up just to like heart eyes me because she knows I say something about it every time. I do like it. Love is true. I know you're heart icing, even if you're not heart icing in text, though. I love you. All right, I've shown you the flower. Now I will read you the poem. Are you ready? Yesterday we talked about right place, right time. This poem is called Right Place, Right on Time. Sure, you've heard the stories. Someone stumbles into luck, right place, right time, golden ticket, falls in their lap while you're stuck Googling, did I miss it? Relax, friend. Life isn't a life isn't a Netflix series with limited episodes. Your chance isn't cancelled. The season finale isn't written yet. You know that perfect place you think you miss. Spoiler, it's exactly where your feet are planted right now. Go ahead, check. Maybe you're practicing, dodging bad days, leveling up patience, training your awareness like it's prepping for the Olympics. But here's the twist, the big secret. There's no magical right spot marked X on some map. You're already standing on treasure. Mindfulness, presence, paying attention. They're just fancy words for noticing the door you're holding open every single second. So chill out, adventurer. Quiet, that side eye, quit side eyeing destiny, thinking it snuck by when you blinked. The joke's on you in the best way. You're already there, already on time, right in the middle of your story. Just look around, laugh a little. You've nailed it. Right place? Here. Right time? Always. I always appreciate you, friends. You guys are cute AF. Your oncoming shindig is gonna need a large. Stop that. You're just Sam. You're so cute. You're so cute. Embarrasses me. So starts blushing. It's like, yeah, that's what I thought. Now stop being cute around me, or I'll make you more uncomfortable than I am. Love is true. Love is true. Damn it. You're freaking best believe. Love is on chain, even. Literally, immutably on chain. Think about that. That's the reality that we're living in today. It's pretty cool. I love you so much, dear friends. Thank you for joining me again, for being in this present moment alongside me. It is a pleasure being here with you. Really does make me happy to have found you, friends, in this grand extreme, to have gained your trust that I'll show up again tomorrow. Goodbye, dear friends, till we do it again. Love ya. See you.